Good morning, guys. Sun's up. It's about 8 o'clock. I'm all set here. You know what I'm going to be doing? We got the old trusty Subaru here. Let me have you listen to it. This is Grandma's Subaru we take care of. And this is a 2013. It's got about 70, let's see how many miles on it. We have 80,000 now. So it's pretty much low mileage. But listen to this. We're due for an inspection, a New York State inspection the end of the month here. And I want it to pass. Listen to this. Can you hear it? Running good, but let me put her in gear and you'll hear it. That's right, she's a little loud. And about a year ago, I'm not sure the month, but we got under here and checked it out. We had to weld up some pipe, and Subarus have this gasket that clamps up here. And look at the condition of this thing. She's blown out. I got a hole in that. See my finger right in there. So the muffler's loud, getting pretty rough. We have road salt, and that really takes a hit onto your exhaust system. There's another issue I found here. See if I can find it. Right there. Let me move up to the front here. We got a little rattling and banging going on. And this is what happens. Every time you hit a bump, it's driving her nuts. That's a pretty easy fix. Sometimes you can do a little zip screw, put it up in. They do rivets and different things. We also have a little clunking going on. It sounds like it's up in the front. Also sounds like in the rear. But if you look right here, you see that bushing on the rear? It's off to one side. When them bushings go bad on anything, you get metal to metal contact. So I want to check that out. But up here in the front, that's a donut gasket with the spring clamps. And what I did, I'm not sure we have to do it, but we should do it, is replace the resonator, this pipe, the donut gasket, the bolt kit, the clamp. I'll show you all the new parts. There's new parts. We come up farther. We've got your catalytic converter up there. Comes back. Everything looks good to this point. And the catalytic converter gets, sometimes up to 1,000 degrees or something. And normally those pipes don't rust much because they're very hot. But it cools down, gets condensation. Excuse me, it gets rust. And you can't take things apart. But I'm going to probably start from the rear. And what I'll do is I'll lube up them. I got to show you here if I can find them. The donut gaskets, let's see here. They're like a hanger. I'm upside down here, so it's hard to see. There's also something hanging right there. See that? I don't know what that is. I'm going to get in under farther. I'm on ramps. I got to take a few things out of the garage. We got the Kawasaki engine we rebuilt. We've got the mower inside up on the lift right now. That thing weighs 1,000 pounds. I don't know, quite a bit. So that's up on the lift, but I can get that out and put it in on the lift. But that little low-rise lift, it's hard to reach in here in the center. So what I did is I took two ramps. Got one forward, one backwards. I do both backwards, but behind the tire, so I can get one side up. And I just want to do general maintenance, make sure it's going to pass inspection. I put on these slotted grooved rotors, pads, ceramic pads. And she doesn't drive it a lot. That's why it's only got 80,000 miles. So when they sit with road salt, what I want to do every season is disassemble, clean, lube, put it back together. And it gets rid of grinding and, your pads set up a little bit, all that from road salt. Back here under the back, it's hard to do on the ground. But we got to take this apart. We've got right here a donut, one of them donut things. These are only like $1, but a lot of times they get corroded or cracked or something, and then you kind of damage them getting them off. And that's very tight. But they usually swivel a little bit. I'll spray that with some PB Blaster, see if we can pry it off. If it doesn't come off good, I'm going to take a Sawzall, cut it, and then pop it out this end. Lube it good, and you get the new one back together. But this is what I want to pay attention to in the front and back is the sway bars. A lot of times the rubber's dry right out, and then the metal will hit against the side or the bracket. I'm going to check it all out because she said there's a couple rattles. Right up here's a hanger. And that all rusted right off, I think. I think it rusted off because I don't see another hanger here. Right there's one. I think there was one there. But I want to look this right over. It looks like we should get some fluid film under here. Maybe get an under car wash. And get this, you know, a lot of rust and dirt. So road salt blown off. It's probably got a bunch up under here. And then get some fluid film on this because these Subarus will run forever. You just got to keep the body on them. Here's another rubber bushing. You just got to check everything out because she's got a thunk on a bump. So I'm going to try to check that over. She's got to get it in for an oil change. I normally do it, but she gets, she's got Goodyear tires. Walmart, they will give you a lifetime flat repair, balance, and rotation for free. But instead of going in there and just getting that for free, I said you can probably have them change the oil because I buy the filters and the oil from Walmart anyway. The only thing I'm concerned about is if they do a good job. So I'd like to check to make sure that they actually did the work and that the you know, the oil pan bolt isn't stripped, it's not dripping, and they cleaned up the mess, and the oil filter's proper and put on. And then I'll mark it for her. So she's only going to be paying $30 or something for an oil change and gets a free, you know, balance and rotation every season, whatever. And then this side's got a hanger over here. But this muffler is shot because you can't really fix this pipe that goes into it. So we're going to work on this. I can take it off as a whole system. The reason I got this pipe, which comes with a resonator, is because what do you do with this? There's no flange left. There's like nothing. It's round. These are supposed to be bolts. And so let me show you what I bought. And it's Walker. Some people don't like Walker, but I've put that on my truck. It usually lasts for a few years. They call this stainless steel, which it actually does look like stainless steel. And I can't read what that says. What's it say? Quiet flow. Got a part number. I looked up the whole system and I got all of these pipes, fittings, gaskets, clamp, donuts, springs, washer, bolts, donut. Let's see, I said that. We've got a resonator pipe, our over the axle pipe, whatever, and our tailpipe muffler system. All these hangers, everything for, I would say, about less than 25% of the dealer cost on parts. And then, let's see, the labor, it's going to be inexpensive here. But I believe this system was $1,600 or something at Subaru. It was something like ridiculous. And then, of course, they nail you labor. Well, like I said, it's a 2013, 80,000 miles. Got some dings in it. Little undercarriage rust, but I don't see any out here. A little dirty, but I'm going to save Mom a bunch of money. I'm up on the ramps. It's safe. The e-brake's locked. I'm going to go ahead and probably throw a tarp down or something softer than the pavement. And then we'll get started on this. I pieced it together. Everything fits. Everything looks like it's going to work good. The only thing that we can't get is the bolt kit. Online, it just doesn't show one. So I'm going to have to get some bolts, but we got the gasket. I could temporarily do the bolts and then replace one at a time with stainless steel. I'd like to do that. The longer one that's on there. I just stuck that in there. But let's get a start on it. I'm going to start by spraying those donuts so they'll loosen, because they get built right up with corrosion. So I'll get this set up. All right, I'm going to try to take this off. And what we got is a 14 mil bolt with a spring and a 12 millimeter nut. And what I'm going to try to do, I gotta get in a position I can see something here. There we go. I'm going to try to heat that up with just a propane torch. And we got the drive shaft above it. And where's the fuel tank on this thing? I put gas in it before. I think it's over there, right? Just be careful where you're, aiming your flame. I want to warm that nut up. I'm pretty sure if I just put a wrench on there and brrr, I'm going to break it off. So let's see what happens if this will work. So I'm going to heat both of these up. I'm going to use a little 12 millimeter wrench. And hopefully we can get this system apart, clean this all up, put our donut gasket on there, and our new assembly. So I'll work out those donut hangers. We'll see how that works. I'm going to try to get that nut cherry red here. This will work. It's slow. My propane is handy. The acetylene, I got a small porta-torch set, and it leaks. The local welding shop guy did it, and I wish he had tested it, because I used it one time for like 5 minutes. The next time I grabbed it, it was totally empty, and I had turned the tank all the way off. So I think the valve on the tank is bad. That kind of is a bummer. That was expensive for that little tank. But I'm going to get this red. We'll see what happens. I think we're going to end up saving, by doing it ourselves, somewhere around $1,500 to $1,700, somewhere in that range, compared to the Subaru dealer. And on the truck, I did an exhaust. It was in the winter months, and I had to use a propane torch. Same thing. I gotta go get a new tank is what I gotta do. I'd prefer to get a larger one. But anyways, I did the truck for, I think, $172. And Monroe, Coal Muffler, both the places were about $7 to, I think, $1,150, $1,200, just to do the pipe, the tailpipe, and the muffler. And I said, no way, not for a 2010. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's see if we can break this loose. And I heard it cracking. So what I like to do is tighten and loosen. And then you know that you're actually getting it versus breaking it off. If we break it off, that's fine. We got a new bolt. But if I can get it off and save it, I can use it for another project. Or if it's super good shape, I'll put it back in, return the bolt. So Tiger's over here. Come here, Tig. I don't know if you can see him. He's not supposed to be out. He's been bad lately. He's crowding past us and knocking us over to get outside. I probably won't bore you with this, but try to tighten, loosen, and if you have patience, get that thing red hot. And I don't have a lot of patience for this. The acetylene would be like, 15 seconds, it's ready to come off. Let's see what we got. Yep, it's turning. Turning, guys. Feels good. Let's see if we can keep going without burning my hands. Hot rust. I want to get this loose, but not off. I want to get it both sides loosened first so the pipe don't drop on me. And then we gotta, it's not really gonna drop, but we got to do those hangers. I'll get that a little hotter. So if you have patience, this is a cheap way to do it, when I worked in the shop, I didn't have this much patience because they want you to go, go, go. So what I did was, see how nice that turns now? What I did is I went in with a zip wheel and cut them right off right away, knock them down, bang them, bang them, bang, bang, and cut and torch, whatever. And you just buy new parts and it's a lot faster. Here I just want to be a little more careful, a little more savings. I don't like to break stuff, you know. Rip and tear, and then sometimes it costs you more. I'm out here at my house. There's not an auto parts store next door. I gotta drive. And in case the new bolts aren't the right size, I can use these or temporarily use them till I get the right ones. But these are looked up by Walker. See how hot that is? That should come right off, but the threads have a lot of junk on them. That's red hot. Let's see if that'll come right off. Look at that. Ow, that's hot. Get your gloves on, boys. I'm laying on a rug here, so that works out pretty good. I was going to put it in on a lift. Well, I think I can take this all the way off because the pipes have like rusted, welded together. And we'll probably have to heat the bolt up to get it out the other side. But I don't see why I can't throw them on the brush wheel, clean them up, and reuse them if the spring and everything's good. The donut gasket, that's probably kind of damaged, but we bought a new one, and we got the new bolt. Oh, it is loose. The whole thing's turning. We're in good shape now. Look at that. See? No, I guess this isn't turning. I used to be pretty fast on this stuff. It's a lot easier when you're on a lift and you can stand up and get your body out of the way, and you're just here with a cramped neck trying to see what you're doing. Just like trying to find the rattles on this. I just can't seem to get it high enough to look to wrestle the parts and see what's moving. Come on over there. And then the wrench is hot. I'll get some pliers. Do I have them? I got pliers, don't I? See if I get that nut off in there. There's Tiger. See if the nut's any good. Looks good. Shoulder nut. And now, like I said, that's kind of welded in there, so I might end up having to heat that up. If it don't work, I'll just get the zip wheel out, you know. Let's heat up the other side. See this thing hanging in there? What do you think that is? That's like, it kind of looks like landscape fabric. I don't know what it is. Oh, right here's some too. It's a different kind of heat shield, but it looks like it's flammable. Ooh, let's not do that. Let's not do that, guys. Why would they put something flammable next to your exhaust? Alright, well, I will go get the fire extinguisher out here. I got one right handy. Tell me this, why Subaru would put something flammable by a heat shield next to the exhaust? I am going to make a comment on a forum for that. That is crazy. The underneath of your car could be smoldering. That's crazy. It's a padding. Right here you can see it. It's got like a fiber back with a, it looks like landscape fair. I saw it hanging down. I thought it was a piece of junk, but it's actually part of the car. What's wrong with these people? Let's see if I can heat that up coming this way without torching the car. Let me go get the fire extinguisher. Well, I got my ABC fire extinguisher handy. I got the garden hose next to me too, but that is crazy. I can't believe it. When I did the, I don't know what you call it, the live data test on the truck, the cats were almost 1,000 degrees, so you tell me how hot that exhaust is. How much is a flame? 300? And that caught that paper on fire, so, or that whatever that stuff is. That's scary. I'll be checking into that and find out what that is. It's probably a sound deadening, but it should be fireproof, I would think. And Let's get this thing hot. This little propane tank's about empty, but let's see if it's enough to do this little project. That was scary. You got to move in a hurry. A local garage here did a gas tank job, and they didn't drain the fuel. They brought it down with fuel, and a little bit dripped, or splashed I should say, from either the fuel line or the spout, you know, where you fill it, the filler neck, and it popped their incandescent light bulb in their shop light, and kaboom, and it burnt the garage down. That was a few years ago, and it burnt the garage right down. I don't remember if the guy got hurt or not. I don't think so, but you gotta be careful with flammables under a car. I can't believe this heat shield isn't larger, covering all that product or something. I don't know. That's crazy. Enough complaining, right? That was scary for me. I got to move in a hurry. Let's see if that's warm enough. Oh, not really. Go get some gloves, will you? Nah. Get it hot! But I could do an exhaust like this when I could stand up, see what I'm doing, less than an hour, boom, boom, get her done, and no rattle. But we're crawling, I don't know. Harder to see, harder to do. You almost need a neck pillow, you know. She's not as hot as the other side was. Let's try to tighten it a little bit. Yeah, I don't hear the cracking loose, do you? I don't know. Make a comment. What would you do different? Sawzall it off. Get rid of it. Probably. I'm into repurposing, keeping the price down, do it yourself and save. In this case, it's not a customer's money, it's my mom's money. So let's not spend it all, you know, what's left of it, right? And the retirees are on a set income, so you can't overdo it on projects. Mother's Day's coming up, and we're going to do the same as we did last year. We're going to go over and do some projects. I think we got to do a little more adjustments on the gutter. We put gutter covers on, my brother did, and they're sort of working, but it's overflowing, so on them vinyl gutters, it just don't fit well. We got to see if we can do something different. Might pressure wash the end of the house. I think I'm going to put in a frost-proof silcock for the water hose. It leaks and the handle's loose or broke, or I can't remember. Something's wrong with it. And then I think Dawson's going to pressure wash the shed. It's got a lot of green slime under the trees. Going to get that cleaned up. Probably clean the windows, get the air conditioner put in. Maybe work in the flower beds a little bit. We're going to trim up some trees. I asked her to give us a list. We're going to be 4 of us. Let's see, 3 of us. At least 3 of us are going to be doing projects. Probably weed whacking the lawn, maybe mowing the lawn. Just getting a whole lot done in one day. Then we'll have a picnic, and I think that's a better idea than buying her a flower, you know. Here's a flower. Oh, now you got to go plant it, you know. But do some projects, and she doesn't have to pay for it, you know. It's free, and usually we help her get the material, and you know, you pay somebody labor to do all them projects and be hundreds of dollars. Come on. Hear it cracking loose? Still not hot enough. Get out! Alright. Hold on, I'll just keep getting her hot. Alright, she's starting to move now. Oh, it's getting tight again, so more heat. Rust. Oh, my socket's rolling away. Come back! Come back! I thought I had it, so I'll just get her cherry red and she'll come off. Well, the nut fell off and this is loose, so there we go. That's not too bad. I think I can clean them threads up, but we'll see if we need them. I prefer to put new stuff in because it looks better, works better, but we're in a pickle, we'll use it. So now I gotta get this side off. All right, let's see. We get this one out without heating it up. This one, there you go, spring loaded. Nice, huh? So now, once we get this apart, we got to clean this flange, and hopefully it's good enough shape. We need a good donut inside, and we need these flanges flat so we can draw. And then that's about it. I thought these were threaded, and it's a thread and then you lock a nut on, but apparently it's just a nut only, and that looks like a different style than what we purchased. We purchased the walker, but let me look that up. Now what I want to do is work my way back and start getting these donut hangers off. All right, back here on the tailpipe muffler, we got to get these donut gaskets out, and they are so rigid they don't move on that. It's rusted to it, and these are $1, and I bought them. I thought, why not? If I had trouble getting them off, I'm going to try to get a big pry bar, lean against the body, and knock that off. If it doesn't work, I'm going to cut it. Just cut that rubber off, not monkey with it, because it's not worth an hour of labor for $1. I think we got 4 hangers, so it's $4. I think they were $1.08 or something. It was like a no-brainer. So if they loosen, fine, but they are got so much surface rust on them, I'm going to be fighting them forever. I'm going to use a couple little baby screwdrivers, whatever, pliers, and tug on them, and then I'll get the pry bar if I need it. All right, I worked them free, but they look pretty rough. Probably put the new ones on. There's one on this side of the muffler, 2 over there. There was one here, but it's missing. And then there's one up on that intermediate pipe here that I got to get removed, and then this exhaust can come out of here. I'll show you where it's pretty loud. See that flange assembly? That's the part that goes bad. And check this out. See why she's loud. Not too good a shape there, boys. See that? I don't want her having fumes and so on. And the flange itself, there isn't one. And then what's left up there is like nothing. The bolt just kind of rotted off. And now we got to get that other donut off in there. And then we'll get this assembly out. It's cramping my neck, boys. Finally, she's down out of there. They're hard getting them rubber bushings out once they get age on them. And then you can see the heat shield swinging in the breeze there. That would be annoying. So we got to deal with that. The whole end's all rusted off from it, so I don't think I can reattach it. You can't just throw a zip screw in somewhere and hope you don't hit something in the carpet, because they run fuel lines and electric wires to your fuel pump and things up under the floor and stuff, and I just don't want to chance piercing that. So I may be removing that. Let her know that there's like a couple heat shields on here. It's just gone, you know. And I'd be more concerned up by the catalytic converter, and that's up there and way up front by the engine. Back here, the temperature's cooled down a whole lot by the time it gets here. You can almost hang on to the pipe, almost. So a couple hundred versus almost 1,000 up there. So I don't know. I got to take it off because it rattles. I don't want to bungee it up. I don't want to cob up something that I got to come back and spend time on. And then to get the bolts out, they're all going to rot and break off. I don't know. They should do better. I don't know. I got to get rid of the rattles on this. All right. I laid them out here side by side. Just stuck it together. The flange was rotted off, and there's 2 holes in the pipe. The pipe is part of the muffler. So I couldn't just order a muffler because there's no way to attach it. I'd have to cut the pipe off, put a fitting in there. I could have done that, but you come up through here, you know, it's pretty rough. So this way we can go from a connection, a solid point, new gasket, new bolts, new hangers, new clamp. All these fittings that go on them bushings good. We just got to pick up 2 bolts. Here's our gasket, high heat gasket. And so, no, it's not the exact factory match, but it's a quiet muffler. It's larger than that one. And I don't want her having the fumes. I don't want to hear it going sounded pretty bad. So the only thing we got to worry about is a little heat shield. And I think what I'm going to do, I should have one of those infrared thermometers. I'd probably get one. They start at 20 bucks or something. I should get one. And then I can use it for radiators, thermostat, all that kind of stuff. So I don't know why I don't have one. I should get one. We can fire the car up once we get this installed. Put it on the cat. Find out it's 800 degrees, whatever it is. Find out this might be 400 degrees. Find out that back here where I was worried about it might be 200 degrees. You know, to see if we really have to worry about a heat shield. Knowing that that material on that crossover piece was flammable. Obviously, it doesn't even get 300 degrees or it would have caught fire by now. And so I'm probably not worried about nothing here. So let me get started. I'm going to go in and get a coffee. Time-wise, it's taking longer than I thought, but not too bad yet. And I think the new parts should go together nice. And I may have to run down to parts store to get me some bolts. I'll check through my supply and see what I got. I might have something, but they probably don't need to be stainless steel because I bet she's not going to take this apart again. She's had it since brand new. So it is what? Yeah, it's a 13 and we're in 24. So probably don't have to revisit this if I do a good job. Alright, now we're back up here. And what I want to start off with, boy, it's tight here, is we got to clean this up, you know. This is still circular, but I don't want to put new pipes onto that stuff. So we got to get this off from here. Prior to that, I want to take a new bolt, and they do come with nuts, which is great. So it is the same thing, and it does fit. So this, when the engine torques, you know, you shift in, things like that, then, you know, it moves a little bit. If you had a rigid pipe, it'd bang into stuff, you know. So let's pry this gasket off. I've got the new one right here. You want to make sure it's the same one. The part number 31630. And made in India, huh? It is a Walker brand. Or I don't know. It says Walker, but it's their number for Walker, I guess. Ah, tough paper. Plastic. Before I grind it off in there, should brought a screwdriver under here or something. Make sure it's the right size, you know. I love it. And that'll give us a nice sealing surface. So, will it pop right off? Probably not. Let me get a tool for that. We'll start off with like a gasket scraper, see if I can pop it, or is it going to destroy everything? Yeah, it looks like we're going to destroy it. So, usually these pop off from other vehicles anyway. Hammer. It's dirty under here. Rust in my eyes. I like to see her get this fluid filmed. You should do it when you get it new. Get it rust proofed, but she didn't. We celebrated her 85th birthday yesterday. Still driving. So I want to take care of her. Make sure she's in a safe vehicle. That the, you know, brakes work. It's going to run. Everything functions on the car. We've done lights. Subarus are known for blowing a lot of light bulbs. And I don't know why, but parking bulbs and things and headlights don't last more than a year or two in these. I think the charging system I checked, and it wasn't too high a voltage. Well, I'm going to monkey with this, and I might even go get a chisel and knock it off. She's starting to move now. She's just braking. But I'm going to clean up this. I brought out a drill with a brush wheel. get this surface all cleaned, and then I just want it really smooth so the new gasket fits nicely. Now I got most of it off, but let me show you why you got to get so much of it. Is you see your gasket, I don't know if you can see, there you go. The gasket don't fit on there unless you get it all the way back, and there's no piece stuck on top yet. Got to keep fighting with it to reach it. Alright, I got it cleaned up. I did the brush wheel on it. The gasket goes on now. So, now we can slide our pipe forward and assemble. Alright, I slid the pipe forward and I put my hanger in there. And what I do is I put grease through the little rubber loops so it can go in and then it can swivel. Once they get rust on them, the whole thing has to try to move when you hit a bump. So a little lube on them wouldn't hurt. And now we're up here. I'm out of breath, right? We're tugging on things. So what we got is this flange. I've got my donut gasket up there and I can't hang on to this. Got my donut gasket up here. We've got our pipes together. I put anti-seize on the 2 1/4 inch clamp on the nuts, you know, the threads, and now it's not tightened up, it's just loose. We've got to swivel this enough to put her together. You always want to mount everything loose and turn it, because I'm not sure the angle of this pipe yet. I think she's got to be turned this direction a little bit, a little more. Getting closer. And it's all adjustable, you know. Turn a little more. Getting close. I was off by a 1/4 turn anyway. Bring this up. See if we can get our nut started on it. And then I put anti-seize on these. You know me and anti-seize. We got to get our springs in there. Spring bolts. Get them on. Because this has to pivot here. You want to get one started. Like that. Get the nut on there. Gotta be turned a little bit more even. Because the muffler's not on there, I can't get this angle held still for me. Turn it just a little more. Now we're too much. Let's get a happy medium. Once I bolt the muffler on, our angle should be good. And then the struggle in life, right? But that's because I'm crawling on the floor. If I stood up, I got a lot more strength. Crawling on the ground here. See, I keep dropping it, but at least we're not in the dirt. That's all I gotta say. Sometimes you put a little floor jack or something under there, you can hold your angle. And I don't have it handy, so I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna try to fight this. Get our nut on there to hold the weight up. There's a thread visible. See if I can reach the nut. Start a nut. It seems like they have a washer. I complain about everything because everybody designs things as cheap as possible. I would think a washer give you more thread, but more, I don't know, strength I meant. Here's sort of a welded on washer, I guess. See, we get bolt number 2 in it. We got to turn another 1/8 of a turn, 1/10 of a turn. I think I'm probably have to go to the back and start adjusting because the weight of this isn't going to help me here. Get in there. See the struggles? Let me go back here and adjust it again. So she's on, finger tight, and then we got to push that up. See how focused you are. Push it up and get it clearance proper. It's got to be up a ways. We'll tighten our clamp, but I'm going to turn that clamp so it's not going to stick down and catch somebody's head. That's the worst thing you could do, is leave a clamp with a bolt sticking down, you know. Move it so it's not going to rattle. But I think I'm going to go ahead and install the muffler and get everything up, and so I know everything's going to fit good. Got it up on those two over there. And now we got to pull it up here, and of course our pipe's right in the way. We have to readjust this. So we got the muffler up there. Tailpipe is in good shape, good condition. You know, it comes out, clears the plastics. You want to check to make sure you got clearance on everything. You want about, you know, the width of your hand, because the design of this system is to do that. Wiggle under motion. So I left that clamp loose up there. Now we're going to twist and turn and make sure everything is good. I want it level up through there. I don't want anything sticking down. I'm going to take that clamp and either turn it towards the drive shaft or up. I don't want it sticking low. It can catch something or your head, and we don't want that. Now I got to hunt up some bolts. Our flange lines up really good. So we got to put our gasket in and 2 bolts, and these holes are large, so I can put 3 inch. I can put in 3/8 inch, probably 1.5 inch long bolts in this. If I can't find any, I'll run down and get some. I don't want to do this twice, so I'll stop and run down and get some. And then we'll go ahead and tighten the system up, and we'll be ready. And then the next step would be to check for any rattles under here. We found that heat shield kind of loose and rattly. I just unbolted it, took it out. There's a whole lot of clearance there, and there's no burnables like there was up above there, up front. So I might be okay with that one. And then the muffler, of course, there's nothing here. So there's no heat shield above this muffler. And I think it fell off years ago. Look at that. There and there. So she hasn't had any problem or smelling of anything, you know. But it probably should have heat shields on this. And then, like I said, I think I'm going to get a thermometer. I'll get one ordered, and they're not much. And then I'll go ahead and test the temperature with it running. I'll go on a road test, and I'll go down, run the AC, get under load, get it hot, and then come back, and I'll check the temperatures. And if it's like, I don't know, above what normal combustion would be, then we'll get factory heat shields for it. Alright, I found a couple 1.5 by 3/8 bolts. Gasket fits in there. The part number, Walker 31388. And big heavy bolts, a lot better than what was in there. So we're gonna, I don't know, I guess I ought to have the nuts on the outside here, right on the front side. And start it on there. There was no washers or nothing in these, so we're not going to do it either. And I'll get these fired up. I'll run them down slowly because I want this to line up nice. See, we still have a little bit of adjustment. And then the flanges, see, this one sticks down, so we want to slide them up even, get them look beautiful, even, and the gasket's not sticking out. We know that's good. And what that'll do is it'll fine tune the angle here we want. Well, it's real close, so real close. There, how's that? Look at that. So now, got a wrench here. Is it on this way? That's what's nice about the Cobalt versus the gear wrench. It's got an arrow for tighten. So when you pick up your wrench, you can see it versus putting it on there like, oh, I'm backwards. You can glance at it. I think that's correct, right? Yep. So, good one for Cobalt. I thought of that a long time ago. It's like, why don't they label it? Don't have to be any tighter than that. It's a 3/8. Now you check in here. Remember what I said about clearances. Confirm that you got nothing that's going to rattle. Go ahead and see how this will move now? It did not move before. It was all rigid because these rubber bushings were so tight. Now we're going to go up there, tighten up that 2 1/4 clamp. I'm going to swing that up and get that out of the way. So if we can go like that, would be awesome. But you're going to bang your head on it if you ever crawl into the car. So if we turned it way up here, I'll have to use a wrench. But see, that's going to save somebody's noggin. If I put it on that side, still got to be up quite high. And the exhaust system is basically on the driver's side of the car. So I guess to do this smart-wise, let's see here. Let's swing it up this way. And it's just like a plumbing clamp. You want to make sure you're in far enough. And then you want your clamp not right at the edge, but fairly close to the edge. Let's see if I can do this, right? I'll use this ratchet wrench. And this way, nobody's going to hit their noggin on it. And the guy with a noggin hit would be me, you know. Should be that way. No. Off. Oh, that's on. Duh. Look at the wrench right. So that'll get the nuts up out of the way, and you want to clear that drive shaft. So I would say something like, even that angle's pretty good. And I push it up just a little. I don't want it sagging. And we don't have to go crazy on these and get a gun on there and imprint the pipe and kink the clamp in there. You just got to get her snug, because in about a week she's going to be rusted anyway, you know. And moisture and coming out of the exhaust, it's going to seal this up nice. That's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Now we're going to turn around and do our front pipe here. And these, I had wrenches somewhere here. 13 mil for the little guy. See the Titan, it's a 90 tooth. And then, what else on the other one? The other one is, I don't remember. What is it? That's not it. I don't see my other wrench under here, guys. It's not 9/16. Where is it? All right, I'll get the right wrench. I think this side here is 15. So this side is 15. And I did have my ratchet under here. I was on it. And then that's on. Get under here. This flange got a little wear on it, don't it? If this goes bad, we're going to need a cap, because it goes up all the way to the engine on this one. But these, you tighten them all the way till that shoulder hits, and that's it. That's the only adjustment on it. That's it. No adjustment. Tighten it right up. I don't know if you have to do them even or not. You probably should. I didn't, but like I said, you can't really over tighten it. I put anti-seize on these too, and that muffler clamp one, and the back ones. My bucket's getting kind of low. I got to get some. I might consider doing the copper one this time. Hear this? A lot of clearance here. There's nothing going to rub. Nothing rattles. So guess what? We are ready to fire it up, fire it up, fire it up, fire it up, Terrell. I don't know if you guys know him, but Pterodactyl is, I don't know, that's his nickname, I guess, on YouTube. Terrell Fixes All. He does pretty good lawnmower repair videos, and he's got those real funny skits. So make sure you watch him on YouTube. He is funny. He spends a lot of time on that stuff. So we got this tight. We got our new bolts in. We got our new donut gasket on. On the back here, we've got our intermediate pipe. We've got our 2 1/4 inch clamp with it turned up out of the way so nobody bangs their head if they slide under there. And then we get to the back. A lot of grunting when you're on the ground here. And then in the back, I even brought a pillow out to hold my neck here. We've got 2 new 3/8 bolts in this. We've got clearance. We've got our gasket. We've got our donuts. We got 4 here, right? 3 here. 1 there. We got 4. And she wiggles and she doesn't rub. The exhaust clears. It's not going to overheat the plastic. My sister had a, I got to remember what it was, a Renault. I don't remember the series. It was a little car. She loved that thing, drove it for years. But I think something loosened on her exhaust, and the tailpipe was touching this back plastic. And she went down the highway and it caught the back end of the car on fire. That thing got hot. But so you want to make sure you got good clearance. Let's fire this up. I think it looks beautiful. Let's see how it goes. Wow. She's quiet. Let's go back and check her out here. No sound there. I like to put my hand up on there and put it under compression, you know, or under, if I get my hand up here. I'm off a mile, no wonder. She's sealed pretty nice. Looks good. One job down, now we got to check for rattles. I'll do that, I'll turn it around, put it up on ramp so I can see it. And it's very possible we got to wait till we get it on a lift and get it up in the air. But thank you for watching. A simple exhaust, I guess. Looks good, works good, no rattles.